Date Tuesday, October 10th. Time 5 p.m. PT location 8 Boldon Stadium, Couva, Trinidad and Tobago. TV info beIN Sports, NBC Universo. After months of hand-wringing, nail-biting and breath-holding, the U.S. national team are finally in firm control of their World Cup qualification campaign. Win in their CONCACAF hexagonal finale at Trinidad Tobago on Tuesday night, and they're in. A draw would likely do the trick, too. A loss would make things a lot more complicated. The U.S. are currently in third in the Hex on 12 points, 2 points ahead of both fourth-place Panama and fifth-place Honduras. Crucially, they hold a significant goal difference advantage on both teams. Barring a huge outpouring of goals by Los Canaleros or Los Cachachos, a draw against Trinidad will probably be enough for the U.S. to snag CONCACAF's third and final automatic spot in Russia next summer. A defeat would dramatically change the dynamic. Losing to the Soca Warriors would open the U.S. to a fifth-place finish in their first missed World Cup since 1986. Finishing fourth and taking on Australia or Syria in a World Cup qualification playoff would also be a distinct possibility with a loss on Tuesday. The U.S. could finish third with a loss if both Panama and Honduras fail to win their qualifying finales, but that's not something Bruce Arena Co. will want to count on. Fortunately for the U.S., they'll be the heavy favorites on Tuesday. The Americans looked excellent in their 40 win against Panama on Friday, and Trinidad Tobago were 180 in the Hex after losing 31 at Mexico on Friday. United States outlook after a wildly disappointing 20 home loss to Costa Rica and a disjointed 11 draw at Honduras in September, the U.S. broke out in a big way on Friday against Panama. Christian Pulisic notched a goal and an assist, Josie Altidore recorded a brace and Bobby Wood added a goal as the U.S. romped to a 40 win to put their World Cup qualifying hopes back on track. Arena put the U.S. in a very aggressive posture on Friday, rolling out a 442 diamond formation designed to put 5 players, strikers Altidore and Wood, number 10 Pulisic and wingers Darlington Nagbe and Paul Arriola, into the attack as often as possible. That will likely change in the Caribbean midweek. Even though Trinidad Tobago are the weakest team in the Hex, the U.S. will be playing on the road and only need a draw to qualify. Those circumstances lend themselves to a more conservative approach than we saw against Panama, so don't be surprised if Arena give defensive midfielder Michael Bradley, who flew solo on Friday, a little more help in the middle. Trinidad and Tobago outlook Tuesday's match is about nothing more than pride for Trinidad Tobago. The Soca Warriors haven't had much hope of qualifying for the World Cup for some time, and had their hopes of advancing to Russia officially ended following the U.S. win on Friday. While they were already eliminated from contention, Trinidad Tobago put up a good fight at already qualified Mexico on Friday. The island nation actually took the lead in the 66th minute, when Shawton Winchester scored to give the Soca Warriors a 10 lead. Mexico responded 12 minutes later with a Irving Lozano equalizer before Javier Chicharito Hernandez bagged an 88th-minute winner. Midfielder Hector Herrera added an insurance tally in the 4th minute of stoppage time. Both of Trinidad Tobago's MLS players saw action off the bench in Mexico, with Minnesota's Kevin Molino coming on in the 61st and Seattle's Joe Evan Jones entering in the 73rd minute. History: the U.S. have dominated the series against Trinidad Tobago, posting a 14-34 all-time record against the Soca Warriors. The U.S. have won the last 2 meetings and is unbeaten in 5 against TT. The Americans recorded a 20 victory against the Soca Warriors in the last match between the sides in the Hex on June 9 in Commerce City, Colo. Players to watch: USA, Clint Dempsey, Pulisic and Altidore rightly drew the headlines on Friday, but Dempsey, who entered as a second-half sub against Panama, has a shot at history on Tuesday night. The Seattle Sounders forward is currently tied with Landon Donovan for the all-time USMNT goal lead, needing just one more tally to make the record his own. He's largely been used as sub in recent USMNT matches, but Arena could very well give him a start on Tuesday. If he is in the lineup, Dempsey should have plenty of chances to move past Donovan and into sole possession of first on the USMNT scoring chart. Trinidad and Tobago, Joe Evan Jones. The Seattle Sounders midfielder came off the bench in TT's 3-1 loss to Mexico on Friday and will likely get the start on Tuesday. With Kevin Molino suspended for a yellow card accumulation, Jones will be one of the Soca Warriors' best offensive weapons. Should the U.S. use a 352,532 formation, Jones could be a handful for the United States wingbacks. Roster USA goalkeepers 3 Brad Guzan Atlanta, Tim Howard Colorado, Nick Raimondo Salt Lake Defenders 9 DeMarcus Beasley Houston, Matt Beasler Kansas City, Jeff Cameron Stoke, England, Omar Gonzalez Pachuca, Mexico, Michael Orozco Tijuana, Mexico, Tim Ream Fulham, England, Jorge Villafana Santos Laguna, Mexico, DeAndre Yedlin Newcastle, England, Graham Susi Kansas City Midfielders 9 Kellen Acosta Dallas, Juan Agudelo New England, Paul Arriola DC United, Alejandro Bedoya Philadelphia, Michael Bradley Toronto, Benny Feilhaber Kansas City, Dax McCarty Chicago Fire, Darlington Nagbe Portland, Christian Pulisic Borussia Dortmund, Germany Forwards 4 Josie Altidore Toronto, Clint Dempsey Seattle, Chris Wondolowski San Jose, Bobby Wood Hamburg, Germany Trinidad and Tobago Goalkeepers 3 Adrian Fonchet Police TT, Greg Ranjitsing Louisville, Glenroy Samuel Morvant Caledonia United, TT Defenders 9 Daniil Cyrus Judah Kalpa, Hun, Kevin, George Jacksonville, Curtis Gonzalez Defense Force, TT, Mekhi Williams Colorado, Alvin Jones W Connection, TT, Tristan Hodge W Connection, TT, Kareem Moses North Carolina, Gavon Villaroel Northeast Stars, TT, Josiah Trimmingham San Juan Yablada, TT Midfielders 9 Kaleem Highland Al Fazali, KSA, Joe Evan Jones Seattle, Kevin Molino Minnesota, Leston Paul Pasaquina, SLV, Nathan Lewis San Juan Yablada, TT, Levi Garcia AZ Alkmaar, Ned, Jared London Club Sando, TT, Neil Benjamin W Connection, TT, Catherine St. Hilaire St. Anne's Rangers, TT Forwards 3 Shot and Winchester Mercier Lagos, Mex Trevin Caesar Sacramento's, Akeem Roach Vita, Hun.